Thank you, Glific, in order to arrange this webinar. I'm sure that this will be very productive and also giving me a chance to talk to all of the NGOs. Just a quick introduction. So my name is Suraj Iyer. I am a customer success manager at Gupshup. I go ahead and handle partners like Glific Project Tech for Dev in order to help them provide WhatsApp business APIs. Just give me 1 second. I'll just see my input volume might be a little lower. It should be better now. So yeah, I think I've interacted with some of the organizations before in the sidelines for any issues, billing concerns that you might have raised. But as you know, Gupshup is providing the APIs on the backlines, but most of the heavy lifting is done by Glific and Project Tech for Dev. We have been in partnership for over 3 years. They are great guys. They develop pretty great stuff, and the way they coordinate with customers is something that is commendable. So I want to start this at a good note is because after this, it's just going to be questions bombarded towards me. So yeah, I've prepared a few slides. I'll go ahead and take up those slides. The first 15-20 minutes will be focused towards that, and then I'll open it up for any questions that you might have. Try to cover some of the parts that I can over slides, but the rest of the things we can also take it up in the Q&A session. Cool. So we'll start with the first one, which is basically template categories. What are the different kind of template categories that Meta provides? So from a business initiated perspective, there is three major template categories that are available. One is marketing, the other is utility, and the third one is authentication. Authentication just went live in June in India. And starting 1st of July, you will be able to send authentication templates also. So it basically covers your OTPs, app logins, website logins. All of that is something that can be covered through the authentication templates. This was not allowed in India due to TRIA rules, but now it is available. Marketing is pretty self-explanatory. Anything that has a promotion or a sales hook involved. In the NGO case, it would also involve, say, for example, if there's a new donation campaign going on and you go ahead and send out an email or you go ahead and send out a template, that will be categorized as marketing. Utility, I'll go ahead and show you some examples. Utility is anything like post-purchase, survey, transactional updates, alerts. All of these are covered under utility. We have given some examples in the subsequent slides. The subsequent slides are a little text heavy. I'll not go through every one of those, but you will be receiving a copy of this deck after this webinar so that you can go ahead and look it up. And if you have any questions after that, you can always go ahead and reach out to KP or to me directly. I'll go ahead and answer those questions also. So these are basically some of the template guidelines. I'll just go ahead and talk about the message objectives. The objective behind marketing templates are basically awareness, sales, retargeting, app promotions, website promotion, or also to build customer relations by offering discounts. These are a few template examples that we have put together that you can go ahead and refer while you're creating your own templates. This is an example for utility templates. The first is, of course, opt-in management. If you have acquired a new database, you would want to go ahead and send like the first message saying that, okay, you have now opted in into WhatsApp and you will be receiving notifications from this business. There is order management. If someone, say, completes a service or buys a product from your website, you can go ahead and send across a order message there. Account alerts and updates if there is anything new coming up. For that particular user's account, you can go ahead and send it across. Also, feedback surveys is counted under utility. There are examples available for that as well. Talking about authentication, there are not a lot of examples available in authentication because the template itself is mandated by Meta. So like there is this variable value is your verification code that you see in the bottom of the slide. The text is also something that is defined by Meta. So you cannot go ahead and change the text as well. So it is something which is mandated by Meta. So you need to follow this only for authentication templates. For other templates, you can have your own content and Meta's algorithm will check it and approve it if it belongs to the same category that you have selected. Cool. Let's talk about utility messages and how you can go ahead and leverage these. So in utility messages, it is really helpful when there is, of course, a conversational bot flow in place. You can go ahead and send out notifications that would then trigger a chatbot flow. Say, for example, it's a feedback survey. go ahead and say that, okay, you purchased this product, how did you like it? And there can be, say, a 1 to 5 star rating, quick replies available. You click on something, then the chatbot takes over. And based on if you're a promoter or a detractor, you will get a response according to that from the chatbot itself, and it can be a flow. So utility message can also lead to a flow. Then it can also be payment reminders, also order management updates. So these are some of the use cases that other businesses are using in order to go ahead and cover utility messages. Yes, KP.
Suraj, it will be really helpful if you can give some examples in the context of non-profit, if you are able to.
Sure.
Because like all our NGOs who have joined this current call, our non-profits are working for social impact, and they might not be using like a payment reminder or order management. So some of those examples or like some templates which can be used in their context would be pretty helpful.
Sure. So I have basically collected like some of these conversations, like these categories that NGOs can look at in utility specifically, is because there are benefits of using utility conversations. The first is utility conversations are cheaper and much cheaper than marketing conversations. And also there is no meta restrictions added to utility conversations, but there are a lot of restrictions added to marketing conversations. So these are some of the category, like donation updates and acknowledgements is something that you can send as utility conversation. So no matter where the donation process was completed, be it on a website or on an app or offline state, you can go ahead and send a utility message to the user with an acknowledgement. Also, e-receipts can be sent, tax related information that is required. That is also something that you can go ahead and send on WhatsApp itself. And it becomes very seamless for a user to go ahead and check. Say, for example, something that everyone looks at during ITR filing is that they want to go ahead and see the tax receipts that they have done donations for. So it will be really easy for a user to go ahead and just open up your business profile on WhatsApp and just look at all the receipts that you have sent in order to submit it. So that also becomes like a repository for the user to collect all the receipts that he has done transactions about. Also, event notifications, you can go ahead and send out event notifications as utility conversations. Also, any volunteer coordination. So this is something that can be done internally. So you can also have internal messages that are sent in order to just update that, okay, if the volunteer has completed certain checklist, if he has reached this particular place, all of these triggers is something that you can design. So at a larger scale for larger organizations where you have multiple volunteers working in multiple regions, WhatsApp can be that one single channel that you can go ahead and coordinate and send internal updates as well. Also, you can go ahead and create awareness content based on whatever is happening in the market. Educational and awareness content can be shared. And the last one would be is, of course, crisis alerts and updates. So these are some of the examples that I could think of. Of course, KP could probably shed more light into this, is because you are so deep into this particular ecosystem. But this is something that we did some research around this, how other NGOs are trying to go ahead and use WhatsApp, not only in India, but other regions as well. We were able to collect this particular information. Does this help, KP?
Yeah, thanks so much.
Moving on to the, I think, most asked question. So how does Gupshup pricing work? So I know that almost every one of you has a Gupshup wallet that you go ahead and recharge. And the current modes that we accept is credit card. And we also have a wire transfer method, but that is currently limited only if you are planning to do a wire transfer for over 10,000 US dollars. So mostly, I think everyone will be using the credit card method itself. We are working on building a auto pay mechanism along with Stripe, which would automatically load your wallet if it goes below a certain threshold. We go ahead and send you alert emails as soon as it goes below 10 or $5, but we are trying to build an auto pay solution also. Let me just explain how the debits happen through your wallet. So there are two major components when it comes to pricing. The first component is the WhatsApp pricing, which is divided based on different conversations that you initiate. I have also added the INR conversion for the sake of understanding. However, all the debit and the credit is processed in US dollars itself. So in the case of WhatsApp fees, there are 4 different categories. One is marketing, utility, authentication, and service. So these are the 4 categories that are available, and the prices are mentioned as follows. Also, every phone number gets free 1,000 conversations every month, which are user initiated, that is service conversations. So say, for example, if you have the WhatsApp link placed on your website or on an app, or if you have QR codes that users can scan and initiate a chat from their side, that is called as a service conversation, which is also called as user initiated. Every month, every phone number gets 1,000 such conversations for free. So that is not debited from your Gupshup wallet. After that, there will be subsequent charges applicable based on the service conversation fee. Now, this pricing that I'm explaining is for India as a destination country. So in the WhatsApp ecosystem, it does not matter where your phone number is registered on. What matters is where you are sending the message to or from where the message is coming from. So the end user's country code is where your billing is decided. So if it is an Indian phone number that you are sending the message to, these are the charges that would be applicable. But if it is any other country, then the Meta USD rate card will be applicable for that particular country. However, the Gupshup fee does not change. The Gupshup fee is common across all geographies. Talking about Gupshup fee, in Gupshup fee, we have a per message fee that is for both incoming and outgoing. Please note that a per message fee is different from a conversation fee. Within a conversation, there can be multiple messages involved, and Gupshup will bill for every such message. However, WhatsApp only bills for a conversation where the conversation window lasts for 24 hours. What that means is that, say, today at 1 o'clock, you send a marketing template. You have time until tomorrow 1 o'clock to send as many marketing templates as you want to the same user, and you will not be billed by WhatsApp again. WhatsApp will only charge you once in every 24 hours. However, Gupshup will charge you for every message that you send. So if there were 4 messages sent in 24 hours, Meta will only charge you one quantity for a marketing conversation, but Gupshup will charge you 4 quantities for messages. Cool. Talking about the maximum price cap. So this is a benefit.
Sorry, can I ask a question now, or should I wait till later?
Sure. No, I think you can go ahead and ask. We have a limited set of participants, so I think it's fine. We can take.
So when you said, so when I open a message, if the chatbot is sending out a message to you and to Krishna saying, "Hi, how are you today?" That means I've started my marketing conversation, correct?
No. So marketing conversations are basically the pre-approved templates that you have.
Correct. I agree. So now if I want people to download my app, I'm going to say something on those lines, either reminding them that today is the day that they're supposed to play on the app or something like that.
Correct.
Now in that, now at 4 p.m., I might send out only one message, and at say 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, I'll send out another reminder saying, "Hey, we noticed you didn't click on the message. Would you like to practice on the game today," or whatever. So you're saying I will be charged once, which is 0.8 rupees by WhatsApp, and 0.8 plus 0.8 by Gupshup. Am I right for this one conversation?
Correct. That's right. So it will be, the charges would be 82 paise by Meta and 16 paise by Gupshup, because Gupshup is per message and Meta is per conversation.
Yeah, and that is per user, right? When you say per message, it is per user.
Yeah, per destination phone number.
Even the marketing conversation is per user.
Yes, that's correct.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
Now, I'll also put up another scenario that, say, for example, we'll use your example itself, is that at 4 p.m. you sent out a marketing conversation, but tomorrow at 7 a.m. you choose to send a utility conversation. In this particular scenario, what will happen is that you were already billed for the marketing conversation, but on 7 a.m. you sent a utility template. So you will be charged for a utility conversation. Is because every category has its own individual 24-hour window.
Right. And and for the system to be able to figure that out, I have to use one of the templates that are sort of pre-approved. Okay.
Correct, right. So WhatsApp will not allow you to initiate a conversation with any user if you're not using templates. If you try to send a free form message to a user, you would just get an error back that you will have to use a template message. I
Got
think
it.
these validations are already in place in the Glific platform, but
Yes.
just for the sake of understanding, I'm just putting it forward as well.
Got it. Thanks.
Suraj, I have a question.
Yeah, Gaurav.
So right now, if my understanding is correct, conversation is the message which starts, which is sent at the start of the conversation, be it from be it from the business or be it from the user.
That's correct.
And the 1,000 conversations which are free, they are only service conversations. They are not a utility or template. There is nothing there.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
That's
And every message which is built by Gupshup, every template or a conversation that is built by WhatsApp is also built by Gupshup.
correct. So what we basically do is that Gupshup is basically collecting the WhatsApp charges also from your wallet and passing it on to Meta.
What I meant is that every conversation message is also counted as a message.
Correct. That's right.
Onto Gupshup. Okay, got it.
Yes.
And lastly, Suraj, I know that, right now you also mentioned this one corner case where if you send marketing and within the 24 hours, you send another utility. Are these corner cases, or are these explanations detailed or documented anywhere for us to have a quick reference?
Yeah, of course. These we have documents available that is published by Meta itself. While I'm sharing this deck with the Glyphic team, I'll be sharing these reference link also, which would
Okay.
basically explain these corner cases as well.
Got it. Thanks, Suraj. That helps.
Yeah, Gaurav. I think some more people had.
Yeah, Suraj, in the
Yeah,
same
I know.
question, I'll just extend the question. I started a conversation at 7 a.m.
Hmm.
and till 8 I'm in the conversation. Now the 24 hours will be counted from 7 a.m. or from 8 a.m. where I left the conversation.
No, so it will be counted from 7 a.m. is because when you send the first template message is when the conversation window opens.
Okay.
So from 7 a.m. until the next day 7 a.m., the conversation window will be open, and you can send the same category templates between this 24 hours, and there will be no WhatsApp charge to it. However, there will be the Gupshup per message charge, which will be
Right.
applicable.
Right. Okay, got it. And service conversation, you mean when user type the keyword, whatever is for your bot. So first 1,000 conversation will be free.
That's correct.
Okay. If let's say we are having 10 users and daily they are interacting with the bot. So till 1,000 conversations, these 10 users will be exempted for the charging, right?
That's correct. So let's take an example that there are 10 users who come every day for 10 days. It means they have initiated 100 conversations.
Right.
Yeah. So in this way, the field will occur and you will be able to see this within the Gupshup wallet statement as well. It is categorized as free tier conversations. So you'll be able to see how many free tier conversations have you consumed.
Okay.
And this is at a per business phone number level. So if you have, say, 2 phone numbers for your foundation, you would get 1,000 free service conversations for each.
Okay.
Would you say that's a workaround?
No, it's because it will be separate phone numbers itself. So I'm not sure how it will be as an experience for the user. Is because, say, for example, if there is, say, Akshara Foundation and I am a user, I getting messages from two phone
Akshara foundations could be confusing to the
it would be confusing. So we have not seen a lot of people taking that approach, but we have seen some people take the approach where they want to divide, say, their marketing messages and their service messages. If they have a chatbot or an agent support applicable, they would like to split it. So that is one of the use cases that we have seen.
Also, when you say Gupshup has a maximum price cap of 75 USD, does this mean if my price, or the number of messages that I send obviously goes over and above $75, Gupshup will not charge me more than that? Is that what it means?
That's correct. Yes. So I have the next slide dedicated for it.
Okay.
So the maximum price cap is applicable only for
Suraj, just 1 minute. Vishwa, you have a question? You want to take it now? one very straightforward question, Suraj. Basically, how do we define
Vishwa, we are
message
not able
for...
to hear you. Can you come closer or speak a
Hello?
bit louder?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Hello?
yeah, it's better. It's better.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just asking, what is the definition of message for Gupshup? So when we say per message, the cost is 0.08346. I mean, does it mean that I mean, what is the definition? Basically, it does, how do we define message? Message is like based on number of words or maybe the length of the message, or so basically what I'm trying to understand is, if I have a long message, if I divide it into two short messages, my cost would increase.
Correct.
Am
That's
I
right.
okay?
Yeah. So it is like, just to understand in a layman term, the WhatsApp Business API message logic works same as your P2P WhatsApp. So say, for example, if we are having a chat on WhatsApp, if you send me three different messages, those are three messages. And for WhatsApp Business API also, these are three messages. So the green bubbles that you see on WhatsApp, those are basically differentiator of messages. So I'll
Yeah,
just give
but
an example that if a user started a conversation with your chatbot, the user sent hi, and the chatbot replied, hi, how are you? In this case, it is one service conversation, but it is two messages.
got it.
Yeah.
But if
And
I combine basically three messages
Mhm.
in one message, my
Yeah.
cost would reduce, right? It doesn't depend on the length of the message, basically.
It
the
doesn't
number of-
depend upon the length.
Got it.
Yeah. So it doesn't depend upon the length. It is not the same as SMS, because SMS ideally will divide it into two. But in WhatsApp, it does not depend upon the length. However, it's always recommended that you have it short for user
Sure,
experience
correct,
purposes.
correct.
But WhatsApp has its own limitation. I'm not very sure. I'll have to look at the documentation, but I think it is 1024 characters limit. So that is a limit which is there for a single message also. So in WhatsApp, it will not divide it into two messages themselves. They will just give you an error that you have exceeded the character limit. So you will have to go ahead and split it in two messages. And I'm assuming that validation will also be there on the Glific platform. Any other questions on this slide before I jump into the price cap?
So this maximum capping is for 1 month charge, right?
Correct.
It's monthly.
Correct. So it is monthly per phone number. So I'll just quickly explain you the short definition that we have put up. Maximum price cap is applicable for every phone number that you onboard on Gupshup. What this means is that the Gupshup fee billing, the per message billing, will not exceed more than $75 every calendar month. So we have also put up an example here, is that the Gupshup per message fee is $0.001. Now, say for example, on day one from that phone number, you send 20,000 messages. Okay. This can either be a 20,000 marketing or within the chatbot conversation, whatever it is. The total number of messages, incoming, outgoing, both, are 20,000. So in this case, the Gupshup fee will amount to $20. Now on day two, you go ahead and send, say for example, 60,000 messages. In that case, it is $60. Now, the example that we are talking about here is 75. So if you send 75,000 messages, that's when the 75 capping hits. So this is basically a sum of all the messages that you send. And as long as it's a total of $75, we will not charge you further. So as you can see in the example, if you send 90,000 messages, we will still charge you only $75. $75 is the maximum that you would be charged. So if you reach the total number of messages on day three itself, then the next 27 days of that calendar month, you will not be charged any Gupshup fees. You'll only be charged the WhatsApp fees, which is applicable. And this is something which is applicable for all of you. This is automatically added as a capping as soon as you introduce Glific as a partner on Gupshup. So this is not provided for every customer of ours. We have some selected partners that we go ahead and provide this capping to, and Glific is one of them. Any questions on this?
Yeah, Suraj, like I wanted to understand the capping was $1.50, right?
No, no. So it's basically $75 itself. It has stayed in the same manner for the last 2 years.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So it's basically $75 for every phone number, every calendar month. Please note the calendar month logic is very important, is because if you onboard a phone number on the 25th, in that case, the 75 calculation will reset on the first of the month itself. So it is not 30 days from when you go live. It is on the calendar month itself.
So here the calendar month will be the next month, not the same month.
Correct. That's right. Yes. So first of every month is when the reset happens.
Okay.
Suraj,
Yeah.
I have a question. Two small questions. Is there a chance that this might change in the future? The $75 capping, and B, does the time zone of the number or when the message was sent affects, since you said that the calendar month is important? I just want to know, like, does it affect that we are in IST, UTC, etc.?
No, so all your calculations that occur happens on IST itself. IST is the time zone that we follow. All of the wallet reports that you also download are in IST time zone itself. So the reset will happen on the first of the month on IST itself. So basically 12 a.m. first of every month.
Got it. Is this bound to change the $75 capping?
No, so we don't have any plans to go ahead and change the $75, and we don't have plans to remove it as well. So this will continue to stay as it is.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool. I'll be talking about the marketing message restrictions which have been brought up by Meta. So the first one is, of course, read rates as a metric. So before read rates as a metric, for Meta to analyze whatever messages that are being sent by a business to the user, there were just two information that they were looking at: if users are blocking the business or if they are reporting messages. So I don't know if you must have seen, whenever you get templates from a new business, there is an exclamation icon next to the message also. So you can report specific messages as well, or you can choose to report the entire business, block the entire business. This is a metric that Meta was tracking until few months back. But now Meta has also introduced read rates as a metric. So even if a business is not getting blocked, they will go ahead and monitor the read rates. If the read rates are lower, then Meta will go ahead and take actions on it. This went live on the 6th of February for all Indian users, and 1st of April, this went live globally. So this is something which Meta has added. It is basically to create high quality experiences, and this is only applicable for marketing conversations. This is not applicable for utility or authentication conversations. Yeah, so there are also a few details about the error code. I think NGOs and businesses can avoid this, is because this is error code that we pass to Glific, and Glific will be showing this information on their dashboard. The consequences of this is, of course, Meta will go ahead and temporarily pause the template itself. They might go ahead and block the template. And the next actions would be is that they would go ahead and reduce your messaging limit, moving on to blocking the phone number itself. So it will not be a straight up block. It will happen gradually, and you will be notified. You will also receive an email on your registered email address on Facebook Business Manager whenever your messaging limit is lowered or whenever your business is blocked. So all the admins that are there in the Facebook Business Manager will get this email as well. These are some of the best practices how you can go ahead and improve the read rates. audience personalization is very much important. You have seen a lot of businesses who acquire, say, junk database that would lead to lower read rates later on, causing to the number getting blocked. Also, the timing is important. So whenever there is a peak season, which involves better engagement, uh, that is when you need to avoid larger campaigns, is because that is when all businesses are trying to do marketing messages and you might get a much lower read rate. So we usually recommend that whenever there's a festive season, you can go ahead and schedule your campaigns probably 2 or 3 days in prior, rather than going ahead and you're making it happen on the high competition day when every other business is trying to send a message to the user. Also, message frequency is very important. So it is always recommended that you send one or maximum two marketing templates to a user on a weekly basis, not more than that, to prevent overwhelming them. Also, cooldowns is much more required. So whenever you are sending marketing messages, you can involve, say, please type stop in order to unsubscribe. And that is the information that Glific can capture and then let you know that, okay, these are the users who want to opt out of your marketing messages. So moving forward, you don't send them the marketing messages. So giving this stop button is basically an alternative for your users rather than blocking your business or reporting your business. Is because if they type stop, they know that they'll not receive the notifications, and that will also not impact your meta quality. Few more best practices is opt in and opt out, as we spoke. So whenever they are, say, registering on your website or on your app, you can go ahead and have a checkbox saying that please provide your WhatsApp number and give us the consent to send you marketing notifications. Capturing this consent also reduces the chances of getting blocked and improving the read rates. Also, this is something that we have noticed, that optimizing your first 50 to 60 characters is very important, is because that is what shows up in the notification center of a mobile phone. And that's when the user will actually click on it and open it. So optimizing the first 50 to 60 characters is very important. If you are sending media-based messages, the image quality should go ahead and convey the message that the user opens the message itself. So the first 50 to 60 characters are very important. Meta has not revealed the number or the threshold that, okay, below this percentage is when they will take actions, but we recommend your read rates to be above 65%. This can be, of course, monitored in the Facebook Business Manager itself. You'll be able to go ahead and see the read rates. You can see it for individual templates that, okay, if you have 5 templates that you send, which is the template with the highest read rate, so that you can go ahead and replicate that content in all the other underperforming templates also. Yes, KP.
Yeah, Suraj, you said they'll be able to check the read rates in Facebook Business Manager.
That's correct.
Okay, do we have a documentation on where the path is? Like
Yeah,
how
I'll be
they
able
can
to share.
exactly?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
if-
be able to share that. Yeah.
Yeah, and second thing, and this is different from the rating that is shown on the Gupshup dashboard.
Correct.
And what is the how is it different from the Gupshup dashboard rating? So just to clarify, like recently there was a question shared by Purva from Mudyam asking for rating on the Gupshup dashboard. Apparently, like if a single template message is sent to 1,000 people, only then the rating actually comes.
Correct. So that is the minimum number of users that Meta requires in order to analyze. So the rating that comes up, that is basically a mixture of your read rates, user reporting your template message, and user blocking your business. Now, if template A message is received and the user blocks your business, that impacts template A directly. So it is basically a mixture of all of these. What I'm mentioning here is that this is only the read rates that can be looked at from the Facebook Business Manager, and the quality rating will be a mixture of all of these, which will be reflected on the Facebook Business Manager, also on the Gupshup dashboard.
Understood. And this read rate, which I can see in Facebook Business Manager, also has a minimum limit. Like, hey, I'll be able to see this only when it is sent to 1,000 people, or even if I just send to 10 people, I'll be able to see this.
You'll be able to see it even for 10 people. That does not have a minimum threshold.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks.
Gupshup is working on bringing the read rates also to the Gupshup dashboard. We don't have an API yet from Meta because that is updated on real-time basis. But we are working with Meta to at least provide you this information on T+1 basis. So we can at least provide you on the next day. Also, there will be notifications about any templates that are, say, paused or rejected. You will be able to see the notifications on the places listed below. Yes, Gaurav.
Okay, I'm not sure, Suraj, if this question should go to you, but I do see that there is some read metric per message in the Glyphic, like when the message is sent to the BigQuery database. I wonder if that can be used to derive the read rate that you're talking about, or is it different?
Correct. So what Glific is basically capturing is that as soon as you send a message to the user, Glific gets events that the message is delivered and the message is read. They are able to capture this data and able to show you the read percentage. What I'm talking about is the template as a whole itself. So which template has how much read rate? And what Glyphic is able to tell you is maybe at a campaign level, that for every campaign, what is the read rate that you're using. So say, for example, if you did 3 campaigns in a day to 3 different set of users, Meta will tell you for the same template, what was the overall read percentage for that template. And Glyphic will be able to tell you at a campaign level that, okay, maybe campaign A was 30%, campaign B was 40%, and Meta will basically give you an averaged out field of say 35%.
Got it. So it's like a macro versus micro. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Because see, the problem is that you doing campaigns, that is something that you're doing on the Glyphic platform. For Meta, it is just destination phone numbers that you're sending the messages to. Meta does not understand the bifurcation of campaign because that is what is happening on the Glyphic platform. You're say uploading a CSV or capturing a database. All of that is happening at a Glyphic platform level. Meta can only give you information at the template level is because that is something that they are able to capture.
Understood. That helps, Suraj. Thank you.
Yeah, most welcome. Cool. A few more important updates, frequency capping. So if you go ahead and send out marketing messages, this is something that has affected all businesses. Frequency capping is at an end user level, not at a business level. So I'll just quickly give you an example. Say Suraj has a limit of receiving 3 marketing messages from businesses in the duration of 1 week. So on Monday, which is the first day of the week, I received a message from Swiggy, Zomato, and Adidas. Now, for the rest of the week, if other businesses try to send me any marketing message, I will not receive that. So that is a frequency capping which is added on the end user itself. So Meta is not revealing the limit and also the duration. That is not something which is revealed by Meta. That is as per their privacy policy. However, at the overall Gupshup level, we have observed a failure rate increase of at least 25 to 30% because of frequency capping. So any campaigns that you were doing before Feb might have a much more delivery rate than what you have right now. And the primary reason is because of frequency capping being introduced. Starting 26th of May, that is last month, this was rolled out globally as well. From 1st of Feb until 26th, this was only for India, but now this is rolled out globally as well. This is in order to provide, say, high quality engagement messages. Also, there were a few articles around that WhatsApp is basically becoming like a spammer's paradise, and a lot of businesses are going ahead and using this for the sole reason of marketing. So Meta had to bring up these restrictions to avoid such concerns. Any questions on this?
Hi. Is the frequency capping applicable to only marketing messages or on utility? Okay, it says utility.
Yeah, so it's only for marketing messages. It's not applicable for utility and authentication. That is the reason we had a few slides designed specifically for utility, is because you can go ahead and create these utility cases and avoid the frequency capping itself. So you trying to do marketing might end up having a low delivery rate, but if you come up with some utility cases, in that way, you can go ahead and deliver to a much more bigger user base.
Suraj, this limit or this capping is per user, right?
Yeah, this is at a user level. So like my limit could be 3 messages in 1 week. KP's limit could be say 5 messages in 2 days. So the limit and the duration changes from user to user. Both of these are not revealed by Meta. Also, Meta does not reveal that, say, this message was not delivered due to frequency capping. Meta is not explicitly mentioning that this is the reason why the message was not delivered. Is because in that manner, all the business or like all the partners can go ahead and calculate what the limit can be for an end user. So according to Meta's privacy policy, they are not revealing this. So Glyphic can provide you the information that the message failed, but they'll not be able to specifically tell that, okay, out of the 500 messages that failed, 200 failed because of frequency capping. So it is a common error code which accounts for frequency capping and also for the number not existing on WhatsApp. So the failures that you get can be a combination of both of these. But the split is not something which Gupshup knows. So the Glyphic also is not aware about that.
Got it. So if I am understanding this correctly, I in the future also will not be will not be able to understand any of these limits, unless Facebook changes its privacy policy.
That's correct.
And second is, if the only way for us to probably circumvent or work around this restrictions is to change the type of messaging that we're doing, from marketing to utility.
Yeah, so that's, I think that's the whole point of sharing a lot of template examples so that probably your marketing team or your content team can go ahead and transform these marketing messages to sound more like utility messages so that that can be approved by Meta under the utility category.
Got it.
Suraj, do you have any hacks for making the template, sorry, marketing messages to utility messages? Because our end like I think Gaurav, who from TAP, they have been trying, and like there are a couple of other organizations that have been trying, but are not able to crack like how to do this, like and what exactly the changes need to be made. So, do you have any hacks or tricks for doing that?
So as of now, we just have examples. We are working on a larger project for H2 of this year that is basically leveraging Copilot. We have built our own LLM in order to go ahead and provide all the data of the different kind of templates, data that we have for utility and marketing for the LLM to go ahead and build up that data and use Copilot in order to make marketing messages for any category or make utility templates, and transformation of marketing to utility will also be a part of it. So that is something that we are working on. We're also working on the sidelines is that how we can provide this Copilot as an API for partners like Glific so that you can go ahead and consume that. That's a larger project that we are working on. Because
Lovely. And it's in the second half of this year.
yeah, it's second half of this year. It's more of a labs project. It is not something that we can honestly focus on, is because there's a lot of algorithm changes that Meta does in order to avoid anyone creating such LLMs. So we are trying to beat that basically.
Sure. Thanks.
Good. So these are a few things to note when frequency capping comes up, right? So the frequency capping is only a limit for new marketing conversations. So say, for example, if I send a message to Suraj today at 7 o'clock in the morning and the marketing message was delivered, I still have 24 hours to go ahead and send marketing messages to Suraj. After 24 hours, my message may or may not be delivered. So it is only for the new marketing conversations that are opening. There are a few exclusions in this particular part. So say, for example, any existing conversations, say utility, now authentication, all of that is not affected. Also, error code monitoring is something that we can go ahead and do. It will, of course, give you a combined data, but you will be able to monitor that as well. Also, the resending strategy should be different as compared to before. So if a user does not receive the message, you should not retry it after an hour or two because you will end up getting the failure again. You should go ahead and retry it probably after 24 or 48 hours. In that way, maybe the message will be delivered. But you should definitely not try it within 24 hours. Good. It's also something called as template pacing. Please note, template pacing is applicable for both marketing and utility. What template pacing is that as soon as you go ahead and get a template approved and you send the first campaign, Meta sends it only to a small group of users. The percentage is not something that is revealed by Meta. So if you are sending it to 10,000 people, Meta will actually only send it to 1,000 people and monitor the performance for 10 to 15 minutes. It can be up to 30 minutes also, and wait for feedback. Now, what feedback is? The three metrics that we discussed: read rates, block rate, and report rate. If within the first small group, Meta observes that the feedback is lower, Meta will not send the rest of the campaign. Meta will go ahead and pace it out and pause your template. This is applicable for both marketing and utility. If Meta receives positive feedback that within the first 5 to 10 minutes itself, there are a lot of read rates that are coming up, Meta will go ahead and push the entire campaign. It's only applicable for new templates that are created. It is not applicable for older templates that already have a quality rating. Good. Any questions on template pacing part before I go to the next slide?
Suraj, any way for us to know how many messages have not been sent because of this?
Yes. So what happens is that when Meta holds the messages and sends it to a small group, you will not be able to know that which messages are held by Meta. However, say for example, the feedback from the smaller group was negative, the rest of the messages are not sent, you would get failure right away. So you would get a failure right away, and you will get a failed event on Glific, and you will not be charged for those messages by Gupshup also. Gupshup only charges for the messages that are delivered to the user.
Will WhatsApp charge?
No, even WhatsApp will not charge you.
Okay.
When you say small group, is there a number on how many people to send it to? Like if I send a marketing message to 500 users.
Hmm.
So
So there's no,
what
no
is a small
specific
group?
number to it. We are not sure how Meta is calculating that particular thing, if it's a percentage or if it's an absolute number that they are looking at. But what Meta is communicated in the documentation, just to a small group.
Okay. And by feedback positive, you mean if they don't block us, or if they don't sort of report the message, then that's considered as high quality.
Yeah. So feedback is basically a combination of read rates, blocking the phone number, and reporting your business. These are the three metrics. It is a combination of all three of these. So if say no one is blocking your business or no one is reporting your message, but if no one is even reading your messages, then that is considered as a negative feedback.
Suraj, I have a follow-up on what you just said, and I'm just thinking out loud here
Yeah.
that this statement that you made, right? Like no one is blocking, no one is reporting, yet no one is reading, can become very like ambiguous for us because 30 minutes can be a very small time period when we are sending messages. And let's say like our users are probably not there with the mobile, with given the audience that we're catering to as well. So uh, I mean, this confuses me sort of to understand how can we circumvent this entire template pacing, or how can we really think about when we know about this restriction. Do you have any suggestions on that?
Yeah. So similar question came to our mind when template pacing was also introduced. To contradict that, we have observed that not a lot of campaigns are actually failing because of template pacing. Is our assumption is maybe the group that Meta is considering as a small group is not small enough that this occurs where the read rates are really that low. So Meta is sending it to still a medium-sized group, and Meta will always go ahead and analyze this for more larger campaigns. So like you gave an example that if I send it to 500 people, Meta will not consider it under template pacing itself. They will consider it for more larger campaigns that would happen, say a minimum of 10,000 users. So the chances of you not getting any read rates is really low.
Yeah, I get it. It's just that where I'm struggling is like we do not have any quantifications in any of this, right? Like it's a larger, it's a smaller group. There's some read rate, there's no read rate. So I'm unable to understand how to.
So you will no, so you will be getting this data. So when Meta is basically holding the rest of the messages, as soon as Meta delivers it to the small group, you will get the delivered events on real-time basis. So say for example, what will happen if you do a 10,000 campaign? Now on the Glific dashboard, you are shown that, okay, 10,000 messages were sent. Now out of that, you might see that only 500 are delivered. Okay. Now this 500 is basically that small group, which is actually delivered because you get these events on real-time basis. So you get a number that, okay, 500 was delivered. And then there will be a read percentage next to it is because the read rates are also sent on real-time basis. So you'll be able to see the read percentage for that 500 users also. And as soon as you see that the delivered number is increasing, it means that Meta has basically let the queue go and the rest of the message will also get delivered. So Meta will not be holding out on the events that they normally send. They will still send out the sent, delivered, and read events.
And if it's failing, we'll get the failure message, but do we know that it's because of template pacing?
Yes, so a different error code is basically mentioned for this, that user was part of an experiment template pacing.
Got it.
Go ahead and talk about the second part in the restrictions itself. That's template recategorization. This is something which is basically introduced very recently. So June is basically the first month when this happened. So all of your approved templates, which are already there in your business manager, will be recategorized by Meta. They will run their algorithm again on all of these templates and send you a notification on email. Also, a webhook event will be sent to Glific that a template recategorization is required for this template. Old category marketing, new category should be utility. You can choose to go ahead and edit the template to the category that Meta has mentioned. If you fail to do so, the next month, Meta will go ahead and change the category themselves. This process will occur every first of the month, where you will get information of all of your approved templates. And if you don't action upon it within 30 days, then the next month, Meta will automatically recategorize it. Yes, Kim.
Sir, yeah, will we be notified? Like, will NGOs get to know directly, or it's an email to us?
No, so NGOs will get information directly. All the admins on their Facebook Business Manager will get an email directly. This is how it will look like. So they have basically specified that on 1st of July, the category of 4 templates will be updated. So this is an email that is triggered on the 1st of June. They mentioning that on the 1st of July, the category of these 4 templates will be changed. You can go ahead and review them using the CSV file. And if you want to go ahead and make the edit right away, you can also go ahead and change it, or you can wait until 30 days until the category is changed by Meta. Also, this is something that will be shown on the Facebook Business Manager itself, where within the category, there will be an info icon that will be shown that shows that the template category will be changed to utility on so and so date. So along with the email, they will also be notified on the Facebook Business Manager in the template section. Any questions on this? So in this particular scope, only marketing and utility are a part of the scope. Authentication is not yet a part of the scope. So only the category changes will happen between marketing and utility, and authentication will not be a part of it. Cool. I have already explained about template pacing. Cool. I think that's it from my side. Go ahead and open it up for any questions that you have. You can either raise your hand or you can just put the questions on chat, whatever you prefer.
Thank you so much, Suraj.
Thanks, Tejas.
Thank you, Suraj.
Yeah, thanks, Naman. I think like one part that we missed out on, and I of course don't have a slide for this, but I think myself and KP will discuss this in the morning, that there are a few requests that come up from NGOs that they would like to get either an agreement from Gupshup or maybe a certification from Gupshup that they are working with a Meta partner or a WhatsApp partner in order for any fundraisers or any something that they want to go ahead and do. So Gupshup unfortunately cannot go ahead and create these agreements because we are just the CPaaS provider in which it's an online prepaid wallet that we have generated. There is no commercial agreement between businesses and Gupshup. We have agreements in place with Glific, which makes Glific a Meta partner itself. So Glific has that particular validation. Glific and of course Project Tech Further, they have this validations available. So I think KP, if you can take this up and see how Glific can help out in this particular aspect.
Sure. Suraj, just I'll take like 2 to 3 more minutes of your time, like asking some of the yeah, Gaurav, maybe you can go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, so asking like 1 or 2 questions which NGOs asked earlier. So whenever there are certain messages sent to a group of people, and sometimes the messages are not sent to the end users, and we see in BigQuery like it's either enqueued or like there are certain status, but it's not showing for all. So what can be some reasons that the messages are not sent to the end users, and how can we figure out and like sort that out?
So basically, the enqueued status is that you have basically sent the message to Gupshup, and after that, the next event that you should get is either sent or failed. So in case if there are no events being populated after the enqueued status, it looks more of like a technical issue. You can raise it with Gupshup and we'll have to check that separately. However, once the enqueued event comes up, after that, there can only be 2 statuses. It's either sent or it is failed. So in failed, they will go ahead and explain the error code that is it because say the Meta API or the Gupshup API is failing, or it is because of message undelivered, frequency capping, all of that part is something that is covered under field. Now, what is the meaning of sent? Is that it has been sent to the user. Now, after this, there is another event which is delivered. So delivered would depend upon the user's internet connection if he has the WhatsApp app installed while you are sending the message. So all of the deductions that happen from Meta and also from Gupshup only happens on delivered. We don't charge on sent. It is only based on delivered when it is delivered to the end user. So there can be a classic scenario here that you send a message to KP on say 1st of June and KP has her internet off and she turns it on the 5th of June. So the message is delivered to KP on the 5th of June. That's when you will be charged for that particular message by WhatsApp and by Gupshup both. So you will not be charged when the message is sent. You will be charged when it is delivered to the user. And say, for example, if for 30 days, say for 30 days, KP does not turn on her internet connection, then the message will be dropped by Meta. Meta will no longer go ahead and send you any event. They will not even send you the failed event. The message will be straight up dropped and there will be no charge applicable for that particular message. 30 days is the time period when Meta holds any messages for it to transition from sent to delivered. So say for example, if on Glific, if you build a timer that, okay, the sent event came on so-and-so, by T plus 30, you should receive the delivered event. If you don't get it, it means that the message is dropped.
Understood. And like on a slightly similar note, if I send a HSM message for a user, it's valid up to 1 week. So if they are replying within 1 week, in our context, the flow will continue. And if post 1 week, if they're replying also, like that message wouldn't be active. Or is it something that from
No,
Glific?
so there is no limit on that particular aspect. So because as soon as you have sent a message, that can only get delivered to the user for 30 days.
Okay.
He does not have internet connection there, even that will be dropped. But say, for example, the message was delivered to the user. No matter the user can reply back after any time, it depends upon if he replies in the first 24 hours, then it is within the conversation. If he replies after that, then it is a new service conversation.
Understood. Makes sense. Yeah. Vishwa, you can go ahead.
So I have a couple of questions based on whatever experience we had with HSM messages, and I can go ahead with it one by one. Suraj, what I've experienced is and basically there's this scenario that I'm trying one same text message I'm trying today, which is being approved under utility for me today. But if I try the same message after maybe 4-5 days, the same message gets categorized as marketing. And yeah, I was not able to, understand the reasons behind that. So yeah, any thoughts around this?
So it's basically like you will have to go ahead and look at the keyword specifically. And of course, I'll be sharing this deck with you that has some examples. You can go ahead and align with that. Is that whether there are some keywords that are matching the examples that we have provided? Is because what Meta is doing is that Meta is doing a regular check on all of the approved templates as well. So it is no longer the case that, okay, say, by luck you got a marketing template approved by utility. So there were a lot of such cases that Meta observed that, okay, their algorithm failed and it made it approve under utility. But see, there are multiple reasons to it, right? Is that there are a lot of restrictions which are added for marketing. Also, it is a revenue impact, right? So because the charges are different for both categories. So that is the whole point of introducing this categorization. And yes, this will even happen in the future that your approved templates category can also change. So yeah, that is fully possible. And I think we send out these events on real-time basis to Glific. So Glific will be updating it in their platform also as soon as the category is updated. As an enhancement, maybe KP or Tejas, you can make a note of this if you want to notify businesses about such template changes if you see the event.
Yeah, thanks. We'll make sure this is there.
Yeah. My second question, Suraj, is now there's a scenario that for one message, my English version is approved under utility. I'm trying now in non-English version, which is not being approved under utility, it gets approved under marketing. And if I try to delete that template from the Gupshup backend, the English one also gets deleted.
Okay.
So how do we avoid it, or is it okay if we just keep those, marketing message? Because again, the purpose is that we want all the templates to be approved under utility. That's the desire. Yeah.
Got it. So I think like creating multiple templates is always recommended. Just one question there is that where do you create these templates for? Is it from the Gupshup platform, Glific platform, or the Facebook Business Manager itself?
No, from Glific platform. But we do track how it is being approved on the Gupshup as well. But I usually create on Glific platform. Yeah, creation is definitely on
Okay,
Glific
got it.
platform.
Yeah, just to confirm that, because we have seen a few issues that happen if you create it on the Facebook Business Manager, then the syncing causes some errors. So it is always recommended that you either create it from Glific or you create it from Gupshup itself. So that is something which is recommended. Yes, you're creating different template names itself for every language is what is recommended so that the other template is not impacted based on that. And also with regards to your question is that, okay, a template was approved under marketing for English but for say Arabic, it was not approved. There can be also translation issues that based on, say, if you're using an online translator, some words direct translation will not convey the same meaning. So even that could lead to a few issues, but I'm not sure about it until I actually see the content.
Okay. And just last very quick things. We have, we've experienced some of the warnings when we try to get the templates approved, and some of them are like, and these are two major warnings, or yeah, I mean that, try after 4 weeks, like basically try creating new templates after 4 weeks. And the second is you can't create new template when something is being deleted. So can you throw some light on what does this and how do we, and because I also very well remember that even if it says that, you can't create now, you try after 4 weeks, I usually get, even if I if I try to create new templates after 3-4 days, usually it happens. I mean, it gets created. So the warning is not literally right, but yeah, I mean, those are two major warnings that I have experienced on Gupshup. Yeah.
But does it happen frequently?
Yes, I mean, yeah.
Okay, because I have of course seen these issues, but it is at very rare instances, and few of these cases we have seen is when your meta manager itself goes under some advertising policy violation, is because at the end of the day, the Facebook business manager is the manager which is basically connecting your WhatsApp account also. And the Facebook business manager is accountable for all the other modules like Facebook ads, Instagram ads. So if there is any policy violation that happens on your ad account of Facebook, it will directly affect the account as well. This is one of the reasons that I've observed. But of course, like if the case is still open or if you have any example around it, you can just loop me in on that ticket if you have raised it with Gupshup. I'll love to go ahead and do a drill down on that specifically.
I mean, not as of now. But I'll maybe reach out if it occurs. Okay, in future. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Thanks.
for sure.
Yeah, just a quick check. Like, probably we'll take Clipsy's question, and then like in this webinar, probably we can take more conversations offline. Meanwhile, I'll also send like a quick poll. It's like a 3-question poll. If you can share that, we'll also know like what are the webinars that we have to host in future. So, Clipsy, you can go ahead with the questions. Others, it will be really helpful if you can.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I'll do it quickly. Thank you, KP. Suraj, this was with regards to the example you gave of the 1000 messages that were sent, 500 were delivered, and say 200 were read. Will this impact my pricing, number one? Okay, because now we are rethinking on different kinds of chatbot. Number one. Number two, now there are different elements. Say, supposing you're sending a picture and below the picture, you're sending a caption. So is picture one one message and the caption along with it message number 2, or it's counted as one message?
Okay. So yeah, I'll take up both the questions of yours. So the first part is that you sending out messages and the read rates will not impact your pricing at all. The pricing is only impacted if the message is delivered or not. You are only charged if the message is delivered. Say, for example, in the smaller group, it was sent and your read rate was really low and the rest of the campaign was dropped by Meta. In that case, all of those messages will be failed and you will not be charged for that. Answering your second question is based on, say, image with a caption. So if it is an image with a caption, which is a text below that, you can also include, say, CTA buttons or quick replies also. All of that continues to remain the same message itself. If you send the image separately and then send a text message, it will be counted as 2 separate messages. But image with a caption is one message. Image caption call to action with quick reply is also a single message.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Tanmay. I think there's a question on chat.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, that is also my question only. So I have two questions. First is a continuation of what KP had asked earlier. Suppose a message is sent and it is in the enqueued status. Okay. So what has happened in the past to me specifically is that I have sent bulk messages to say 5 collections. Of that, few people from one collection have not received the message, whereas everyone else has received it. So if there are 10 people that I have sent it to, say 5 people have not received it, other 5 have received it. So first question is, how do I get to know that 5 people have not received it? Previously, I have gotten to know this because I was one of the 5 who didn't get the message. And when I tested it with the people in my office and I asked everyone, have you gotten it? They said कि नहीं आया है. That is when I understood कि oh, this message has not really reached. But how do I know that out of like the 100 people outside of my office whom I do not have a connect to, who has not gotten the message? Even if like, and if I can check that in BigQuery, does this mean that I have to go and check in my BigQuery every time I send a message? And also that once if it gets stuck on the enqueued status, what is our remedy after that?
Correct. So messages getting stuck on enqueued status, 99% of the times it is a technical issue, either from Meta or from Gupshup side. That is something that we can go ahead and resolve. That is when the enqueued state being stuck is what happens. You will for sure get a sent event or a failed event after that, and you will have to go ahead and check it within. I'm not sure how the events are passed on to you. If it is BigQuery, yes, you will have to go ahead and check the event logs over there. And if you see that you are just getting the enqueued state, of course, the enqueued state will have a message ID to it. You can just go ahead and tail that particular message ID and see if you have received a sent event or a failed event for that specific message ID. If you haven't received it, usually it should come within 5 to 10 minutes itself. If it doesn't come during that time, you need to report it to Glific so that Glific can reach out to us and we can go ahead and see what is the technical issue that is going on. Because there can be scenarios if you are sending a campaign and you're not aware that your phone number is actually blocked by Meta. In that case, what will happen is that we will try to shoot the messages to Meta, but it will actually never get sent. So it will get stuck in the enqueued state. Another reason could be is that, say, for example, your phone number was blocked. You go ahead and raise an appeal to Gupshup. We raise it to Meta. Meta unblocks it. Now, when Meta unblocks it, there are certain authorization certificates that we also need to update. So if we have not updated those certificates, your messages will fail to go out. So in this scenarios, you'll only get the enqueued event because it has come to Gupshup, but we were never able to pass it on to Meta. So if you intimate us, we'll be able to go ahead and make these changes, make these resolutions so that the messages are then sent.
Okay. And how, like, in order to understand that some messages have gotten stuck on the enqueued status, I need to go and check BigQuery every time I send messages?
I think Tejas will be the right person to answer that.
Yeah.
For now, yes, Tanmaya.
Okay. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's it. And then the other question is in the chat box, but I think Tejas has answered that. Thanks.
It's just in interest of time. I think we have gone 17 minutes overboard. Gaurav, you can share your question over email, and we can get Suraj to share if it's not needed. Just in interest of time because you have taken 15-20 minutes extra from his time.
Sure. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you, Suraj, so much for your time. And thank you all. Yeah, please feel free to, I think, share your questions over email, and yeah, we will coordinate with Suraj to get them answered. Yeah, within the next 2 weeks. Well, next 1 week.
Thank you so much, Suraj. Thank you so much. Like, I know your schedule is busy right now, but thank you for taking out time.
No
And
problem.
whenever
Thanks a
you
lot
are
for the
free, if you can share the documents, it'll be helpful. Like, we'll share this webinar recording and also the documents with all the issues.
Sure, will do. I'll go ahead and send it across today evening itself. Thanks a lot for arranging this, Tejas, KP, the entire team. Thank you everyone for joining in. Have a good day, guys.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.